Hello and welcome to the Develop Podcast. I'm your host Ben Gilbert, and in this podcast I speak with practitioners from across the world, bringing you insight into the international development sector. Hi Hayley, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Can you believe it's January 2022 already?
No, I can't.
13th of January, today is a special day. We're launching Helping Hand 2022 today, and this podcast is part of that. First of all, tell us a little bit about where Helping Hand is at from last year to this year.
Helping Hand is kind of an ongoing campaign which runs all the time, but each year it focuses on a different area of the Salvation Army's international work. So during 2021, the focus was our food security projects, and the theme was Feeding Hope. And this year, we've moved on to our next focus area, which is gender justice. So this year's theme will run until the end of this year.
So the campaign for 2022 runs from the 1st of January, but why is the 13th of January significant for us, or the number 13? Why is it significant for gender justice as a theme? Could you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so it's not really the number 13, it's actually the number 1 and 3, because there's a statistic that exists in the world, which is that 1 in 3 women around the world will experience violence in their lifetime. And that's obviously a huge number of women. Gender-based violence, or violence against women and girls, affects so many women around the world, and an issue that the Salvation Army is devoted to addressing.
One of those stories, or one of those women, is this story we're going to listen to in this podcast, Sofia's story. It's a tragic story in one sense because of the pain and the suffering she and her children go through. But on another level, listening to it, it's an amazing insight to what the Salvation Army are doing on an individual level, providing that emotional support, that pastoral support, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's kind of the key to all the work that we do. You know, like I said, there's this big statistic of 1 in 3 women around the world, but those statistics actually come down to it being real people. It's real women and their real children's experience of violence and abuse, but also a real woman's experience of hope and safety that they found through the Salvation Army's support. And I think that's what we're trying to get across through this campaign, is that it's women like me, it's women like our sisters, our mothers, our aunties, etc., who are experiencing abuse around the world, and we need to address it. We need to talk about it, because it is uncomfortable, and it's horrible to hear some of the news and some of the stories that are out there, but it's important to talk about it.
So we're going to share Sofia's story now. Just a word of warning that there may be some triggers in this story because it mentions experiences of abuse, violence, and baby loss. Here's Sofia's story.
Everything was good in the beginning, but then things started to change. My husband didn't want me to go to work or go out of the house. He didn't want me to talk to anyone. I was pregnant with my second child. One day he came back from work and beat me up. I lost the baby. For a time, I believed that it was all my fault, that everything that happened was my fault. When I became pregnant again, things became much worse. One night, he put a knife at my neck and pushed me to the floor. I always say that my unborn child was protected by God because she's still alive. God wanted her to live. After she was born, I was at home when he grabbed my neck. I felt a belt around my neck, and that's when I passed out. When I woke up, he was kicking me and telling me that I had to die. That was the day I thought to myself, either I get out from here or my children will lose their mother. I told him I was going out to pay some bills, but I didn't. I went to the magistrate's court with my girls. At 3 p.m., an eviction order was issued. I was finally free. When I came to the Salvation Army, the officer went with me to the police station and to the court. To me, It was very important to feel that support. It gave me the strength that I didn't have before. It's important to get help, to talk, and not to be silenced, and to have something to hold on to. So, to me, the Salvation Army is my family, for my children as well. You can see them. This is their house, this is their home. Whenever something happens, the Salvation Army is our place to go.
You can find out more information about our theme of gender justice by following the links in this podcast, as well as our campaign this year for Helping Hand. Thanks for listening.